Telling you this right now, their karma is to genuinely feel so fucking lonely. Because they're genuinely realizing that they threw away something that was going to make them extremely, extremely, extremely happy. And they're acknowledging that they literally put themselves in a place where they feel lonely because of their fucking actions. Welcome to your late night reading with yours truly, El Tero Vaquero. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Noah Valenzuela. I'm El Tero Vaquero, and I'm here to provide you clarity and guidance only. Okay? So as of now, I ask you to please let me into the energy between you and my collective, between my collective and their individual, and let's see what the cards have to tell them about their situation. What do the cards need to be very much so well aware about their situation? Okay. I don't know if this is you. I want to say this is them because I'm feeling their energy, but como que se siente that they're realizing that it hurt more than it actually did. Because this signifies incoming clarity, these two together, right? And usually the right is, my right is there is them, my left is you, right? 10 of Swords being shown right here, even though it's painful, let me see if I can put myself in a place or in a situation where I can move forward naturally, where I can move forward regularly, right? The Moon reverse, the Ace of Swords, this is somebody coming out of confusion. This is somebody gaining some form of clarity, right? The main energy of the relationship being the Moon reverse and the Ten of Swords, this signifies for you, it hurt. For you, it hurt. So I'm going to see if I can move on. For them, I realize that this has hurt more than it was supposed to hurt. The energy that's coming through from this specific four cards is they're starting to realize it hurt more than I thought it was supposed to hurt. It hurt, but let me focus on moving on, right? I don't think that you're fully moving on from this individual. I feel like you're more in this energy of wanting to move on from this individual or wanting to move on from some sort of like painful situation or a situation that honestly did end up hurting. Right? So having the Moon reverse right here, having the Ace of Swords, having the Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Wands, to me, it feels like it's very much so in the same energy, but kind of different energies. You're starting to accept that this person could not meet you where you want it to be met. This person is starting to acknowledge that in some form of way, you could meet them where they want it to be met. So you see how it's like the same energy, just very fucking different. And the energy that I'm picking up from this individual, it's like it hurt more than what it was supposed to hurt. Why is this hurting more than what it was supposed to hurt? That's like the underlying energy that's coming out from this reading. As of now, give me more info upon this individual. Give me more info upon this individual. I feel like the person that you were dealing with or the person that you are dealing with, they come from a toxic family household and their dad is a toxic one. That's one. But there's also the underlying energy of having to become responsible very young. Having to become responsible very young. So the only way that they know how to deal with problems is by walking away from them or solving them there and there. But because they come from a household where there's not a lot of emotional availability, they struggle with that. They have a hard time with that. They have difficulty time with that, right? So what's coming through right here or what's being pushed out right here from your particular reading is that they're starting to realize that they have wounds that they have been trying to avoid, that they can't really walk away from, that they're trying to balance, right? To me, what's coming through from this energy, it's like they won't be able to advance into a better version of their reality until they truly, truly do go within themselves and acknowledge that what's happening within them is not normal. And it's like they're going back and forth between those feelings. It's like they're going back and forth between those feelings. They're like acknowledging that. And I feel like your situation is supposed to kind of propel that or push that forward for them. You see what I'm specifically talking about? It's like they're starting to realize this is more painful than I genuinely thought it was going to be. This hurts more than I genuinely thought it was going to hurt. right? So with the Ace of Swords, the Six of Swords, there's like clarity in that movement where they're removing themselves from confusion, and they're starting to realize that their critical ways or even narcissistic ways, because I feel like that's what's coming through, even like their narcissistic ways genuinely aren't the healthiest. This doesn't mean that they're coming back with change. This doesn't mean that they're coming back to automatically fix this, make this better. But this genuinely does mean that they're starting to realize that they do have a few issues, or they do have a few issues, or they do have a few things within themselves that really, 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 really they need to work on. That they genuinely need to work on. I'm telling you, I feel like they come from a machismo house. Machismo, or if you don't know what a machismo household is, it's just like a misogynistic father or a misogynistic household. That's the underlying energy that's being pushed out. That's like the underlying energy that's coming through. You see what you know what I'm telling you? That's like what's being presented to me. And I'm telling you, I don't want to hurt you or anything. I'm trying to give you clarity and shit. But to me, this feels like even though they're acknowledging that they have been in the wrong, that they have ways that are not healthy, it's going to be really hard for them to be able to heal that, because it's like they tell themselves, I would rather be responsible of my own life. I would rather in some form of way try to be responsible within myself. Right? The Two of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Okay. I feel like you did something energetically, mentally, emotionally, or physically where you kind of said or you kind of felt like you were not going to put up with them. The Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords. That's what I feel. I feel like you set a very, very strong boundary with this individual where they cannot show up as their old version. And it's like that's one of the reasons, or that's one of the things that kind of wants to propel them to do better if they're going to show back up, or if they're going to present themselves back up into your reality. Because to me, what's coming through is that yes, like they are realizing that the energy that they're carrying, the toxicity that they have within themselves, that they're managing is just like sinking them down into a deeper hole of loneliness. But at the same time, it's like the only person that was there for me when I needed somebody, I took them for fucking granted. And genuinely now, I do not even know if I deserve something like that. So again, they can't rush back into your reality as if it's something normal. Like they can't come into your reality offering you scraps, because I feel like after this, you're starting to realize that you deserve more for yourself. The Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords specifically being shown right here, you have carried too much pain to be able to deal with an individual like this. And I feel like they acknowledge that. I feel like they know that. I feel like they're genuinely very much so well aware of that. We have Aries. We have Aries. We have Sagittarius. We have Taurus. And then we have Aquarius. Aries, Sagittarius, Taurus, and Aquarius. I'm telling you this right now. Like, I feel like they're going through like these mental obstacles where they know for a fact they have brought on suffering towards people around them, towards you, and because they feel lonely. They don't feel good. They don't feel so great. So one thing that I definitely do want you to acknowledge, or one thing that I definitely want you to be extremely, extremely well aware of, is that what's being pushed out is the fact that they know for a fact that what has caused them to be in this energy has been themselves, and they know they have discarded something good, or they have discarded somebody that was willing to put up with them the way that no one else was. Look at this. The Justice reverse, the Lovers reverse, the Sun reverse, and the Six of Pentacles. these cards together, to me, they come out or they symbolize genuinely the underlying energy that when there was someone that was willing to choose them, if there was somebody that was willing to give their happiness for them, they took that shit for granted, and right now their karma is hitting them like fucking crazy. Se me cuida mi colectivo.